When someone asks you to name the first celebrity who comes to mind, chances are you'll name an actor. Actors are some of the biggest stars out there, and as public figures, they've got their lives being looked at under a big old microscope. Because these guys make for some big news whenever a story includes them, there's no wonder why so many of them have faced exposure. Whether the whistle has been blown by fans or even themselves, it still makes for some big gossip, so let's count down the top 10 actors who were exposed. At number 10, Ellen DeGeneres. Though many of us know Ellen DeGeneres as a famed talk show host, she's also an actress, having starred in her own comedy show as well as voicing Dory in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. She certainly fits the criteria for this list. Last year, Ellen was exposed for creating a toxic work environment on The Ellen Show, and she was the recipient of a lot of negative attention and backlash in 2020. Rumors started circulating about Ellen not being as nice as she is portrayed as on TV, and soon former employees started coming forward with their own horror stories about Ellen and the work environment they had to deal with. There were allegations of racial microaggressions, discrimination, and harassment on the part of Ellen as well as other higher-ups in the company. For months, Ellen was being exposed for her toxic behavior, and she faced a lot of flack for it, having to issue multiple apologies to make up for things. Stars who have been on The Ellen Show in the past came forward to talk about their experiences with the comedian, and many interviews were also being picked apart by people online, digging up moments that show Ellen in a negative light. Basically, Ellen got exposed to the max, and I don't know if things will ever really be the same for her. At number 9, Gina Carano. Sometimes your post can come back to bite you, and this is exactly what happened with actress Gina Carano. Known for her role on the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, Gina faced massive backlash for her social media posts that exposed her ideals. Though there were a few posts that garnered a lot of negative attention, the one that was seemingly the last straw for her Disney career was a post that compared being a Republican to being a victim of the Holocaust, saying that Republicans are being persecuted because of their political beliefs. A lot of people took offense to this. Other posts that caused Gina to face scrutiny include her tweets about voter fraud in the US, as well as posts mocking people who wear masks amid the pandemic. According to a source, the people behind the Mandalorian series had been looking for a reason to fire Gina because of her controversial social media presence, and so this exposure led them to firing Gina from her role. Before I carry on with this list, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also check out my gaming channel Viber Girl if you're looking for some chill gaming vibes with yours truly. At number 8, Anthony Mackie. I don't think anyone likes the person that they used to be. As we have discovered with many people on social media, past tweets and posts can definitely age poorly, and this is something that we often see with celebrities. Marvel actor Anthony Mackie, best known in the MCU as the Falcon, faced cancellation recently after a video of him resurfaced that definitely wasn't a good look for him. The video in question was a clip from an interview he did with Wendy Williams back in 2015 that's seen as sexist and misogynistic. In the clip, Mackie is seen talking with Wendy about gender roles in relationships, where he goes on to say that a woman's job is to make her partner a sandwich. As a result of these comments, Anthony was exposed for his sexist views back then. He was called out for these comments when the interview first took place, and he was exposed for them again this year, showing us that the internet never truly forgets. At number 7, Chris Evans. Another MCU actor who's been exposed is none other than Captain America himself, Chris Evans, though he was exposed very differently. Back in September 2020, Chris found himself caught in a photo leak scandal that got everyone buzzing. Though many celebrity private photo leaks happen because they've been hacked, in this case, Chris was the one who exposed himself, though it was an accident. Basically, what happened was that Chris shared a video to his Instagram story that was a screen recording of his camera roll. At the end of the recording, the video showed a small clip of other images in his camera roll, and there was a picture of his, let's say, little Avenger. Catch my drift? Chris really exposed himself there, and it got a lot of people talking, making memes, and also standing up for him, trying to defend his honor, if you will. This whole thing actually turned into a message about double standards, as just a few weeks later, Cardi B faced a similar leak, and instead of defending her like they did for Chris, they made fun of her. So really, not only did Chris expose himself, but he also exposed the internet for their double standards. At number 6, Harley Sawyer. When I think about the worst case of tweets coming back to bite you, my mind immediately thinks back to former Flash actor Harley Sawyer and his many offensive tweets that were exposed back in 2020. Harley, who's best known for having played Ralph Dibny, aka the elongated man on the CW's The Flash, when many of his tweets were brought to light. These tweets, which span as far back as 2009, highlight Harley's offensive attempts at humor, many of them including racist, sexist, homophobic, and even violent messages. These tweets were brought to light during the Black Lives Matter movement that saw a big jump in support last summer, and as fans dug deep into many celebrities' lives, this is one of the biggest stories of celebrity exposure that came out during that time. As a result of these offensive tweets, Harley was fired from his role on The Flash and has been MIA from social media since issuing an apology for his actions. At number 5, Lea Michele. Harley Sawyer wasn't the only actor to have been exposed for racism during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement last summer. TV and Broadway actress Lea Michele was also exposed for her insensitive behavior after a former co-star called her out for the way Lea treated her while working together. Samantha Ware, an actress who worked alongside Lea on Glee, took to Twitter to expose Lea for treating her poorly and for her racial microaggressions. After Samantha came forward about her experience of working with Lea, more people came forward to back up her claims, as well as to share their own horror stories of the actress. People made comments about how Lea would treat extras on set, calling them cockroaches, as well as members of the crew, saying how she would throw a tantrum when people were running late, and even spitting in craft service food on a few occasions. Lea was painted as someone that you wouldn't want to work with, and as a result of this exposure, she lost a partnership with HelloFresh because they said that they do not condone the kind of behavior Lea was being exposed for. At number 4, Meghan Markle. A few weeks ago, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down for an exclusive interview with Oprah where they went in depth about their split from the royal family, as well as their feelings having been a part of it. A lot of information was shared as they opened up about their life, and Meghan kind of exposed herself during this interview. She spoke a lot about her perspective of life in the royal family, speaking out about her mental health, saying that there was a time where she wanted to end her own life, as well as sharing details about her marriage to Harry that had been kept secret until now. Things like how Meghan and Harry had gotten married in secret before their big televised ceremony, and how efforts were made to keep them apart. But Meghan didn't only expose herself and her position in the royal family, she also exposed others as well, making comments on the racism in the family and how they had trapped Meghan and Harry as well. So much information came out about everyone in the royal family, so it's safe to say that everyone was exposed that day. At number 3, Shia LaBeouf. One celebrity who's had his fair share of exposures in the media is former Disney star Shia LaBeouf. In the past, he's been called out for things like lying and racism, but recently he's been exposed as an abuser as well. In late December, Shia's ex-girlfriend, FKA Twigs, issued a lawsuit against the actor citing verbal, physical, and emotional abuse. In the lawsuit, Twigs cited many instances of abuse that she endured while in this relationship, ranging from violent outbursts and attacks to disturbing methods of, quote, getting into character. But this exposure also brought to light Shia's history of negative behavior. He was recently fired from Olivia Wilde's film Don't Worry Darling because of reported clashes on set between Shia and other cast members, as people said that Shia is, quote, not an easy guy to work with. Twigs' allegations of abuse have also been backed up by Sia, as she said that she was emotionally abused by Shia when they were together, and other people have come forward with negative experiences with the actor as well. This one exposure turned into a bigger scandal because it brought more victims forward and could still blow up to be a bigger ordeal. At number 2, Bella Thorne. Another former Disney star who's been exposed in the past is none other than Bella Thorne. These days, Bella doesn't have a very good reputation in the media, as she seems to go from scandal to scandal every few months, so being exposed just seems to be like a normal day for her at this point. Back in September 2020, Bella was exposed by a small business owner for having scammed her out of over $1,500 worth of merchandise. Lauren Rivera, the owner of a small jewelry business, came forward to expose Bella for having stolen goods given to her for a brand deal in order to help raise awareness for small businesses dealing with influencers and celebrities. Bella had made an agreement to promote Lauren's business in exchange for the jewelry, but because that promotional post never came, Lauren sought out to seek justice in a way. She posted their messages showing that Bella did in fact agree to post about the business, and even showed some of Bella's posts showing her wearing the jewelry without having tagged Lauren's business. This exposure came out around the same time as Bella's OnlyFans scandal, so it really just added more drama on top of that which Bella was already facing at the time. And finally, at number 1, Armie Hammer. Back in January of this year, actor Armie Hammer, best known for his role in the film Call Me By Your Name, was exposed after DMs were leaked which showed the actor talking about bedroom fantasies. These screenshots of conversations with women spanning between 2016 and 2020 show Armie discussing his desire to act out fantasies including consensual non-consent and eating his partner. As a result of these leaked DMs, Armie's image took a big hit. He dropped out of an upcoming film called Shotgun Wedding, where he was set to star alongside Jennifer Lopez, and he was also dropped from a Paramount Plus series about the making of The Godfather. On top of that, Armie was also dropped by his agent and his publicist as well. This exposure took a really big toll on Armie's career, and there's no telling if he'll really be able to bounce back from this. Now, I want you guys to tell me about any other actors that should be on this list. I'm sure there are more of them that I've missed, so tell me about them down in the comments. Anyway, that's been our list. I've been your host, Brie Room, and until next time, stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay groovy, friends.